Okay. All right, everybody. So the goal of this webinar, this is 100% for you. It's really for the people that are either in real estate, trying to get off the ground, or maybe contemplating what it takes to start a career in real estate. And so my name is Tim Moldenhauer with RE/MAX here, and I've been in it about 21 years. Co-own the RE/MAX franchise, and about 3 years ago, we decided to start a team with the sole purpose of helping agents have a duplicatable and predictable business, and one that you can support your families, achieve your goals, and the things that I've been able to have in my life. And so, but really, the most important thing today is to talk to Dane here. So Dane, I'll let you hear a little bit about Dane. How long have you been in the business, and why you got into real estate?
Yeah, so I got into the business about a year ago. I got into real estate simply because I wanted to start building a better future and career for my family and for myself. And I honestly got tired of waiting for people to tell you've earned a raise, like it's like, well, I think I've worked hard enough for a long time. So in this business, you can do it yourself. You can earn yourself a raise. I was attracted to the flexibility of real estate and the way the scheduling works. And I've always been really goal driven. So it feels really good to gain a sale or be at a closing. I've always been really goal driven, like I said. But yeah, those are the biggest things. I wanted to start actually building, and I've heard good things. My mother-in-law is in the industry, and she would tell me all the time about how well she does and what it can do for your family and all that good stuff. So,
okay. So you had some people that told you wanted to be able to give your own raises. And I think more importantly in this field, as when you work for other jobs and things, you can never be fired in this industry. So everybody's in there. Let me ask you, what has you interested? Don't be shy. Put it in the chat. What has you interested in going into real estate? We'll see. The chat is working. Oh, is it difficult to get a real estate license? It's not that difficult. Most times when I talk to somebody and they say, how long does it take to get in real estate? From the day they start taking the class and they actually choose a course, most of the time they come to me in about 2.5 months. Dane, do you remember how long it took you from when you first took the class?
Yeah. So I remember I started the class at the end of February of 2023, and it was like a self-paced class. I did the online one, and it took me 2 weeks because I just really grinded it out. There is a waiting period to be able to take the test. So I remember I ended up getting the test in May, so March, April, so about 2.5 months, like you said. And then you have to wait for, they do certain things like background checks, and you have to wait for all that to get approved by the real estate commission.
Okay. So you started in February, and you said when you started taking the class, February?
Yeah, it was late February, so probably early March.
And then when you finally got your license and started, what was that? What was it, July, when you finally got started?
Oh, yeah. When I finally started with the Moldenhauer Group, it was July.
Yeah. So it takes a little bit of time. It's not that difficult. It's all about taking a test and going through the process. And so then it comes to what you do once you get started. Another question here. Hey, Jimmy, thank you. How much does it cost to be a real estate agent? Most people, it's going to cost roughly about $2,000, depending on how many times you take the test or not, sometimes a little bit less. Ongoing costs are only about $1,000 a year to do everything. So it's not a lot to keep up your license. It's more about what you do when you're here. And a lot of people go into this business because, again, like Dane said, he wanted to be able to give himself his own raise. And you've got a wife and a child, so you've got a family support and some goals.
Yeah. And I'm able to be around more too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I can take
How old's your daughter?
a year and a half.
Yeah. So you have the flexibility to go home when you need to, stay home and switch off with your wife.
Yeah.
And so that's something that this real estate, this career can kind of actually do for you. And I think one of the big things is people want to know, How long does it take? Because you had a salary job.
Yeah.
You had a good job, probably had benefits and things like that.
Yeah.
And so to go out of that role and into real estate, I mean, it's a pretty big risk, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big risk.
So
I was ready for something different, though.
yeah. So here we are. So we're in your first full calendar year right here.
Yeah.
So where are you at for 2024 for the number of sales you're at, and where do you think you're going to wind up?
Yeah. So at the beginning of the year, I set a goal. I wanted 12 to 15. I think I said 15 was the final number. Home transactions for the year 2024. I thought it was a good starting point. Obviously, I want to build on it each year after year. But to this point, I'm at 10 pending and closed through Monday. So
Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
And with that pending and closed, what kind of income will that make you so far?
Right about 52,000, 53,000.
All right. And so if you were to project through the end of this year, where do you think that you might wind up in the end of 2024?
I'm hoping to, goal is 100. That's always been I wanted to be six figures first year. But I think 80 is realistic. 80 is a good goal, manageable goal. Yeah.
Okay. So between 80 and 100 in your first full calendar year.
Yeah.
And tell people, I mean, if I were to ask you, like, how much, what's the most important thing you do every day to be able to generate this kind of income?
Calling people. Yeah. Phone calls every day.
And tell me how that experience was from when you first started making phone calls and what it felt like until now.
At the beginning, it was a big transition period because I came from an industry where I did it. I called people for a living. But you went from something you knew a lot about to something you didn't know a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a lot of, and I learned by doing it. Like when I hear it and write it down, I don't learn as well. So it's like the real life, like real time experience is what helped me learn the most. So yeah, it was a big transition for sure.
and so it's going to take a lot of calling. And tell people, what does a lot of calling mean? How many calls, how many hours a day are you actually in the process?
I'd say anywhere from an hour to 2 hours a day, at least 50 phone calls a day. I think today I did 60 something, but that varies from people, complete strangers, to people I've made contact with before, then I'm calling again, things like that.
And so with that, and if somebody else is in the audience is thinking, okay, if I wanted to start a career in real estate, if they came in and they went through the training that we provide, and if they made a couple hours of calls like you are diligent, would you think, what are their chances of being successful too?
I think very successful because it takes a lot of people a lot of conversations to actually sell somebody. And, and it's not always your fault. Sometimes it's like a best friend swoops in and steals your clients so it's just a lot of clients or a lot of conversations. Yeah.
You can't really be attached to the outcome. Let me see some of these questions. Do we offer any mentorships for new agents the first couple of sales? Yeah, we actually do, which is nice. We've got, and I like getting, when you're here, you're a newer agent. So what would you say, how would you describe the support and how, the availability of people able to
I think it's great because our office is in a big circle. So sometimes we have a lender in office. We have several very experienced agents. We have newer agents. So sometimes I'll just walk into a circle until somebody's door's open and I can ask them a question. So, and everybody's always willing to help. And
you ever feel alone where you can't get an answer
No.
or there's somebody not there to guide you?
Never. And I just keep calling different people until I can get an answer to a question.
Yeah. All right. So Jimmy asked, how do you find clients? I think we answered that on the calling.
Yeah.
And it's calling people calling people you haven't met yet. And then it goes down to calling people that you've already made contact with, because the real thing in this business is you've got to be able to keep up with people at scale for a long time.
Yeah.
Somebody's journey. I mean, our job is to help people with their most important asset. I mean, this is the biggest deal for them. And we're here for them, whether it takes them a day to find it, or if it takes you 2 years to find a home, I'm going to be with you for that whole that whole process. And and everybody in this team, this organization has the same way. They're going to put your needs first. Dane, you've been in it now almost 11 months. You probably have people you've been working with from the beginning. Still looking.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere from friends and family that were like, we'll use you as soon as you get your license, to complete strangers that came in through leads that you're still working on. And they pop up in your reoccurring tasks, and
you just keep up with them. So,
and then they're like, we pushed back another 7 to 8 months. Like, all right, I'll call you in 7 to 8 months.
All right. So how would you describe your work-life balance?
I think it's that's, again, one of the big reasons why I wanted to do it. So from the beginning, or like when my other job, I was 8 to 5, 8 to 6. So then you go without seeing my newborn daughter from 7 to 6. And now it's like you said, I can go home. I can make calls from home. I can, you see her for a little bit, but I always feel like it evens itself out. Like you'll have those crazy, you work Thursday through Sunday till 7 p.m. And then the Tuesday after you make your calls, and then you don't have any appointments. And then you can kind of like, it just evens itself out. It's kind of crazy how it works.
Yeah. You'll have these rushes where it's like all your business comes in, then it's slow. And during that, you keep making your calls, but you can rest, spend more time with your family. And so, like you said, it is a balance, and it's a balance. And really, in real estate, it kind of just goes, because you're working a little bit all the time. You may be answering a call on Friday night, but you got to answer the call on Saturday. But you could be answering Saturday while you're at a family vacation or something. You're still doing business. So that's all part of it. And that's a lot of reason why people choose this job, because it's the flexibility of schedule. I mean, I've got a 5-year-old daughter, and she's here at the office with us, and I have the flexibility of having her here. And so it's really good for people that need that flexibility. And let's see what other questions we have. Let's see. When do you think good time to invest in real estate? Now. I mean, if you ever buy a property, you'll wish you bought it 2 years before. Let's see what else. Interested work-life balance. It's a good one for you, Dane. What do you like most about being a real estate agent?
Well, I always said, I'll use my teen years as an example, but one of my favorite jobs ever, I was working at a marina in high school, and I loved it, because it's just like, you just help people tie their boats up and put gas in, but you had conversations with all different people all the time, and it just kept coming in. So this feels like just a transition to a different industry. I mean, and doing the same thing. Like you talk to people from all walks of life and different countries. And so it's just kind of like that. It always just kind of filled my cup to meet new people and do something different every day.
Yeah.
So
I bet that was fun. Some good summers.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. But yeah.
And on the other side of the spectrum, Henry wants to know, what do you like the least?
I mean, like I said, it evens itself out, but the hard part is sometimes you go through the weekend. Like you'll be at a showing in the morning, you'll be negotiating offers during the day, and then you'll answer calls at night, and then and then Monday's there again, but that's probably, but it's not for me. I like to be doing things, and I always got really bored on weekends that we didn't have any plans. So for me, it's not that much of a big deal, but that's probably the worst. But
I get it. And we have these seasons in real estate where it's like, can be really busy, and you'll work a lot of weekends. And during that time, luckily you have the ability to take it off. You can take a break during the week, you can recover. And I had an old Mike Ferry coach, and he always said, you've got to work when the fish are running. And so there's going to be seasons in real estate when you've got to give it all you can at that point. And so, so let's see what other questions we have. What advice would you give someone starting real estate? Oh, what would you say?
I like what you said to me a while back in a team meeting, that I was like, you asked what I could be doing better, and I said work weekends. And you said, yeah, you haven't earned the right to not work weekends yet.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the biggest thing, is because a lot of people don't, and I've worked with several clients that will not answer you until after work. So you either have to call them at 6 o'clock at night, or you have to call them on Saturday and Sundays. And then when you're showing properties, they can't do anything until the weekends either. And then if you don't have anything scheduled, then it's like you can be hosting open houses for any other agents and meeting new people. And like, even if it's not leading to a sale per se, it's always like you're learning how to answer questions better and how to be more prepared for open houses, because you'll get there at a open house that it's not yours, so you don't know a whole lot about it. So then you show up, somebody asks you a question and you don't know how to answer it, so then you're like, hey, next time I need to actually learn about this property that I'm hosting an open house for, or talk to the listing agent, like, what do I need to know about this? So what questions are going to pop up, that sort of thing. But I would say calling a lot of people and making yourself available at all times of the day. Really.
And with that too, like at first, it's going to take a lot of reps to get comfortable. And then the other important thing, as far as, for a new agent, is don't give up. You just got to, it's all about the amount of opportunities that you talk to, and each person, like Dane was saying, like at the open house, you learn, oh, I could have done this better. And then the next one, it's a little bit better. And you're going to hit a point, and everybody's differently. A lot of people will be in that 3-6 month range where you can just tell their entire confidence shifts. They understand the business, and they're to a point where they can start answering some of the questions, and what's really nice, the difference between being like, we run a team here, a team versus an individual agent, is on a team, you've got all the support staff you need. When you take a listing, you've got a listing coordinator that's going to guide you through all those questions and help you put the home on the market correctly and help you talk to the sellers. And we've got staff that have had hundreds and hundreds of transactions. And so same thing when you're closing it. So when you're closing your first property, you don't have to worry about all the intricacies, because somebody's going to guide you through it, and you'll have basically 3 jobs every day. And when you're on a team, it's to talk to people, show and list property, and negotiate contracts. And so all the rest is done for you. So you can just focus on skills and talking to people. And so let me see what other questions we have. And just to kind of go back, when I started in real estate, I started on a team. And so it was easy for me. It was a really good pathway for me, because I didn't have to figure out all the little things. I just had to figure out how to meet people, build relationships, and get better at selling real estate. So let's see, how much can a real estate agent make? Really, there's no limit. It's you've got the ability to make as much as almost any other field, any kind of doctors or lawyers, and in this business, it's because you're going to get 100% of what you put in, you're going to get out. And if your goal is to make just a set amount, you may be able to do that in a couple hours a day. So that's a hard question to answer. It's all just personal goals and how hard you want to push it for sure. So, but I will say something, that you've got to know. I'm going back to what you need to do in this real estate business. You are self-employed, which means if you don't show up, most real estate offices, they don't care. If you don't sell any property, nobody's going to hold you accountable. And so what's really, really important is to know that you need to be in a group where people can hold you accountable and make you stay on your goals, because otherwise nobody else will. So I think that's one of the biggest things whenever you start, wherever it is. Find somebody that cares about you and that's close to you, that can hold you accountable. See if there's anything else, any others we've missed. Dane, what else would you say to them about?
I was going to say something to that accountability piece. It's like I know if I'm slacking on phone calls or whatever it is, I have to have a good answer, because I know you're going to text or call me or email me and say what happened this week. So having that little, like, I know Tim's going to call me, so I need to have an answer why that didn't happen.
And the key is also that we've asked permission from everybody to be held accountable. Because in this business, if your goal is to buy a house for your family, is to buy an investment property, or to leave your job, whatever that is, it's our goal is to help change your life and get you there. And so, we will check on with you if you're not doing the job that it takes. So let me see what else. What other questions might be great for them to, you know, I think we've covered most of these. So let's see what other ones we have. How much should I make a real estate agent? So I think we've got most of these actually probably covered that have came through here. And so really, I would say probably the parting message for here is anybody that is on the fence or scared to kind of make the leap into real estate, uh, anybody can do this business. It takes a lot of hard work. You're going to have to focus on your skills every single day and understand you're going into a sales job. I mean, this is a sales job like any others. And so it's going to be, you're going to have to go out there, talk to a lot of people every day. And you're really going to have to be a master at the trade of real estate. You're going to have to learn almost everything. And you'll never, and what's neat is even after 21 years in the business, I'm still learning. I'm still running into problems I've never had before. And so if you want variety, you want a job where nobody can ever cap your income, this is the one for you. And there's a lot of great teams out here. We'd love to sit down and talk to you. And yeah, and let me see if anybody has other questions. Otherwise, we may be good. So what makes our team different? There's a lot of great teams out there, Henry. But I'd just say ours is, we are looking for people that want to build a life. We want agents that are trying to support a family or create dreams. Or nobody here is really hanging their license part-time. Everybody here has a reason to work. And so if you want an environment where people are going to push you and they want you to grow, this would be a good place for you. All right. Do we have any other questions? Or I'd love for everybody just, if you need it, if you want to follow up, you'll get the recording and then you can reach out. We'd love to sit with you. So trying to keep this under 30 minutes. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. I think we're good, Dane. So, hey, I appreciate your time, Dane.
Yeah.
And want to thank everybody for attending and look forward to hearing from you.